We've made it through the NFL draft. We've made it through a majority of the offseason. So it's currently May. I wanted to have some fun. Let's talk next year. Here are the win totals that I like the most. Let's start with the Falcons. Win totals at 7.5. I love the over here, mostly because I love what the Falcons did in this draft. The biggest issue for Atlanta last year was that they didn't have a pass rush, second to last in sacks. They were aggressive this draft, trading up in the first round to not just get one edge rusher, they got two, James Pierce and Jalen Walker. That's going to really help set the tone for this defense, as well as they got some depth in the secondary, getting Xavier Watts. I really like what the Falcons have on offense. Michael Penix showed promise at the end of last year. He's had a full offseason to get ready. Don't forget, Bijan Robinson had his best season, nearly 1,500 rushing yards. He had 14 touchdowns. Drake London, he's shown some development. I like the Falcons, I really do. I like the fact that they play in an NFC South division, which is one of the worst in the league. I like the fact that two of their road games this year are against the Jets and the Patriots. They have an easier schedule. They've got a really good developing defense. I think this team's ready to go. I will die on the Jacksonville Jags train. Next, let's talk Jags. I like over their win total. It's at 7.5. I know it's high. They were 4-13 last year, which was third in their division. Yes, the Titans were worse, but I just love everything about Jacksonville's vibe right now. New head coach Liam Cohen, who's the quarterback whisperer, revived Baker Mayfield's career. They've got a GM that is aggressive. James Gladstone making arguably the most aggressive trade we've seen in recent draft years, going and trading up for Travis Hunter with the second overall pick. Everything about Jacksonville screams win now. They've got to win now. This is Trevor Lawrence's last year, I think at least, as a potential starter. And so Liam Cohen's really going to try to get what's best out of him. I love the fact that Travis Hunter comes in as a great addition to an already good receiver room, with Brian Thomas Jr. leading rookies in receiving yards last year. One of the issues for Jacksonville last season was they were second to last in passing yards allowed. Well, good thing about Travis Hunter is he plays both ways, so he's going to really help boost that secondary. And we mentioned they had 4 wins, yet they weren't last in the division. They still play in a weak AFC South. The Titans had 3 wins last year. There's big question marks about the Colts. And honestly, the Texans, are they really a 10-win team? I like the fact that the Jags have this tough, gritty, win now mentality. And you know what? I'm not selling my stock. I'm going to keep riding the Jacksonville Jags train. Okay, we can't take overs on every team, right? Let's throw in an under. I'm taking under on the Vikings win total set at 8.5, and we're getting plus money. It's plus 100 here. Now, I know you might be thinking, how are we betting under on a team that went 14-3 last season, that was second in the NFC North? Well, go back and look at those games a little bit closer. A lot of that was luck. A lot of those came down to the wire, and a lot of it had to do with Sam Darnold going on quite a run. Well, they don't have Darnold anymore, and they still have to face some of these tough teams. They're going to play 7 teams this year that have a win total line at 9.5. They got to play the Eagles, the Ravens, the Bengals. Their own division is tough. Their own division is the Lions and the Packers. I mean, how about the Bears? They might rise up this season. And I just have such a big question mark on JJ McCarthy. He's going to play his first regular season game this year. He's essentially a rookie. He's coming off of a meniscus tear. There were questions about JJ McCarthy's durability before he got hurt because of his size. Now he's coming back from injury. Not only that, I don't know if he necessarily has the arm strength to be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. There's also issues on defense. They don't really have depth at edge rusher. I don't know. I think this might be the year that we see the Vikings kind of decline. So I'm going to take under, and I like the fact that it's at plus money. Okay, let's go from Darnold's old team to his new team. We're talking Seahawks. Last season, the Seahawks win total was at 7.5, and they finished the year with 10 wins. And that was Mike Macdonald's first year as a head coach. This year, the win total's at 7.5. We're taking the over here. Let's start with the offense. I know that there's some question marks about Sam Darnold, but if Sam Darnold can look anything like he did last year with the Vikings, there is a lot to like about this Seahawks offense. The wide receiver room, fantastic. JSN, who looked incredible last year, and Cooper Kupp. Then you look at the running back room, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and overall, who's leading this offense? offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. There is so much promise in Seattle, but it's not just on offense. It's actually mostly on defense. It feels like the Seahawks kind of have their identity back. We saw this towards the end of last year when Ernest Jones got in the building. There was momentum in Seattle. Now they have DeMarcus Lawrence in there. They drafted Nick Amanawari, who's going to be a really strong safety for them. I wouldn't sleep on Seattle. And look at the rest of the NFC West. There's big question marks there for the Niners. Who knows what the Rams are going to be like? And I'm still not buying in on Arizona. Getting the Seahawks still at 7.5 after a 10-win season last year, I'm taking the over. Next up, let's talk Cleveland Browns. Their win total set at 5.5. They had 3 wins last year. Not only do I not see the Browns getting 6 wins, I don't know if they get 4 wins. This is a disaster of a team. It's a chaotic quarterback room. Let me remind you who's in this quarterback room right now. You've got Deshaun Watson coming off an Achilles injury. You've got 40-year-old Joe Flacco. You've got journeyman Kenny Pickett. You've got rookie Dylan Gabriel, who the Browns drafted in the 3rd round. And then you have Shedeur Sanders, who the Browns drafted and traded up for in the 5th round. What is going on with Cleveland? All of that to say, it's a mess and I'm not buying in. There's no playmakers besides Myles Garrett. Nick Chubb, he's declining. What is there to like about this Browns team, honestly? They were dead last in passing yards last year, and I don't think a rookie quarterback's going to change that or anyone else in that room. And then you look at the division they play in, the AFC North. They've got the Ravens and the Bengals. And if the Steelers end up getting Aaron Rodgers, that's not going to make things easier for the Browns. I do not see the Browns having a successful year, so I will happily take the under 5.5, and we're getting this at -140. Okay, lastly, let's talk Cowboys. Cowboys have a win total line at 7.5. Last year, they went 7-10. I don't think that they're going to do that this year. I'm taking the over. Before last season, they had 3 straight years with 12 wins. Dak's coming back healthy. Trayvon Diggs is going to be healthy. And vibes just seem to be up in Dallas. Brian Schottenheimer in as the head coach, Matt Eberflus as the defensive coordinator. It feels like a little bit of a new era for the Cowboys. And I like what they did in the draft. They went and got Tyler Booker, the offensive guard, who's going to help replace Zach Martin. They also improved the running back room. They got Javonte Williams, and they also drafted Jaden Blue out of Texas. Maybe one of these guys hits. And let's not forget, the Cowboys play in a pretty favorable division, facing the Giants twice. Their schedule this year is actually pretty nice too. They face the Jets, the Panthers, and the Raiders. I like the fact that CeeDee Lamb finally will have a wide receiver too. They went and traded for George Pickens. And while Pickens might not be a wide receiver 1, I think he's going to stretch the field well enough and really make CeeDee's life easier. Let's just be honest. The Cowboys are not a 7-win team. They are at least bare minimum an 8-win team, especially when Dak is back healthy. I love the over. Okay, I know it's early, it's only May, but this was my first dig into win totals this year, the teams that are sticking out to me. What totals do you like this year? Who are we not talking about?